We are holding at the 14th Mishnah. Hillel just told us some wise, sagely advice, and he says, Hu haya omer. Hillel said, Im ein ani li, if I am not unto myself, mi li. Who is going to worry about me? A lot of times, we like to depend on others for our success, for our salvation, for our support, for our existence. And Hillel is saying that codependency is not good. Im ein ani li. If I'm not onto myself, mi li. My mother used to say to me, may she rest in peace, the only insurance that you have in life, if there is such a thing as any kind of insurance, is in your own ability to perform. She would always say to me, don't depend on others. Whatever you can do and do it yourself. This way you'll know you'll do it right, and this way you will be satisfied with the outcome if you put in your full effort. And that's what Hillel is saying over here. This is very, very important, that success of man is dependent on his own ability to perform. And what he does for himself could bring him some measure or guarantee of success. That's a very important principle. A lot of times we look in life for easy street. Others should do for us. It's easier to sit around and not perform and expect others to perform. And Hillel is telling us that kind of an attitude is only going to bring you disappointment. Why the sages have stressed so much, don't be lazy. Be on the move, on the go. Because the thinking is that if you're going to be lazy, nothing's going to happen. And you can't depend on anybody else either. So therefore, a person has to perfect himself and develop the skills and the abilities to fend for himself. Sometimes I ask myself, if I was stuck on an island, could I survive? And I think I could, because I know the basics. That's what it means, mena nili mili. Or what you're unwilling to do for yourself with the God-given talents that He gave you. God gave us talents. And He gave every single human being the ability to survive with his talents. You see, a lot of times, someone who's very handsome or beautiful, not necessarily do they have a lot of wisdom. A lot of times you see people with wisdom, they're not always so beautiful and so handsome. God has given each creation that He made with the capabilities to survive. Everybody has talents. They got to utilize those talents. Now, why did God give this one this talent and gave that one that talent, that one that talent? Because God has a world that needs to run. So everyone has what the sages call a tchunas hanefesh. All different people have different drawings. Different people are drawn to different things. This one is drawn to art. This one is drawn to building. This one is drawn to speaking. This one is drawn to creating. Everyone is drawn to different things. There are those that are drawn to the indoors, those that are drawn to the outdoors. Between all the people, everything gets covered. Because that's how Hashem created the world. He created a variety of people. No two people are alike. The variety of the people all have a variety of talents. They all have a variety of contributions to humanity. And between all the people, somehow, all the different things that civilization needs to survive get accomplished. That's why every morning, millions of people go out to work. Everyone has a different destination. Everyone is going to accomplish something else. But at the end of the day, what everybody contributed, that keeps the world ticking. Now, the next part of the Mishnah is, Ikshani la'atzmi, and when I am on to myself, that means I'm only worried about myself, and I'm not worried about anybody else. Mo'ani, what's my value? In other words, even though I said to you in the beginning, if you're not onto yourself, what are you? You can't get caught up in yourself. A person can take that to the extreme. He'll only be for himself, because Hillel said, mili. But anything that's in the extreme is dangerous. The Rambam says, always go the middle path. And the middle path means that yes, you need to care for yourself and you need to use your full potential to accomplish for yourself, but at the same time, you can't forget that somebody else exists. There's another beautiful explanation over here that they say, if I'm only worried about myself, or if I'm only worried about myself and I'm doing only for myself, or even when I'm only doing for myself, what value is that? In other words, we never did enough. So even when I am for myself and I'm doing for myself to better myself, I'm trying to accomplish more, what's the value? Because there's always more. We can always do more. We can always help more. We can always accomplish more. So we're looking at this in two different ways now. One way, kishani la'atzmi mo'ani, if I'm only worried about myself, that's a big problem, because we are commanded to reach out and to help and not only be busy with ourselves. And the other understanding is that even if I do for myself, ma'ani, because I can always do more. And v'im lo achshav, and if I don't do what I'm supposed to do right now, Emasai, when will I do that? A lot of times, people in general, they push things off and procrastinate. And that can be very, very problematic. It can be very problematic in terms of mitzvahs, because many, many mitzvahs are time sensitive. And if we get into the trap of procrastination, then ultimately, the mitzvahs that we're supposed to do that are time sensitive, many times we are going to miss the timeline and not accomplish what we're supposed to accomplish. Further to this also is that no human being is guaranteed with life. So if you have to accomplish something today and you say, I'm going to do it tomorrow, maybe tomorrow won't come. So it is very, very important for us to consider a basic principle, which is something hard to consider, but from the moment we are born, we are starting to die. Every minute that passes by is a minute that we will never have again. If I missed davening, for instance, Shacharis today with the minyan, it's lost forever, because that Shacharis on this day, in this particular month, in this particular year, is never coming back. And therefore, since we are always in a process of time dying, time passing us by, and since we don't know how much time is left, so we have to grab every opportunity that we have while we still can. This is a very, very important principle. You see, we think that we own our time. What COVID has taught us is there is no guarantees. People that were perfectly healthy, all of a sudden the whole world turns upside down. They get sick. Everything they plan to do, they can't do. This is something that man does not want to face his mortality. You ask any person, they'll tell you they don't believe they're going to ever die. Everybody thinks they're going to live forever. And what you find out is that if you don't accomplish what you got to accomplish when you're young, it's very, very difficult to accomplish it when you get older. The sages have warned us all the time. Try to utilize your youth in the most effective way. Because if you don't train yourself when you're young, it's going to be very, very difficult to train yourself when you're old. Once you have established yourself in a certain ways, it's very, very hard to change. And you never know if you're going to have the time to change. It's so important to grab the moment. The Gemara says that this world is it's like a banquet. My rabbi used to say, the Gemara says, Chatof echol, chatof shesei. Grab and eat, grab and drink, because you don't know when the banquet is going to end. And this is a very important principle spoken about time management. That's what this really is. What Hill is saying, that we need to live with time management, and we got to make sure that during the time that we manage, we take care of ourselves, and we do what we need to do, not depending on anybody else, but at the same time, not to turn the blind eye to anyone else either, and make sure that we help out while we're on our journey. To live in the moment. This is the basis why when we wake up in the morning and we say Moda'ani lefanecho, and we thank Hashem for giving us our soul back, what we're really saying is thank you for another day. And hopefully if I didn't do yesterday what I was supposed to do, I have another opportunity, which when I went to sleep yesterday, I wasn't sure I would have, because nobody knows when they go to sleep what the night is going to bring. I remember my Rebbe of blessed memory used to say from a great sage, the Maris Chius. The Maris Chius would bemoan every single day what he did not accomplish the day before that he could have accomplished. And how did he know that he could have accomplished yesterday more? Because when he accomplished it the following day, he would say, the fact that I accomplished it today is the proof that I had the ability to accomplish it. So why did I not accomplish it yesterday? Why did I have to wait till today to accomplish it? I see I could have accomplished it. And he always would demand of himself more and more and more, because he lived this principle, Lo Achshav Emasai. He had a drive. You'll see it's a very interesting thing that the people that have a drive accomplish much, much more than people that don't have a drive. There's a saying, they say that if you need to get something accomplished, give it to the busy man who has no time. Somehow, the busy man finds the time. He finds the time because everybody can choose what they would like to do with their time. Everybody makes those decisions constantly throughout the day, how they're spending their time. And for what you'd like to find the time for, somehow we manage to find the time for it. So everything goes back to time management. And time is the most precious commodity in the world. That's why when a man who is a multimillionaire is lying on his deathbed, with all the millions that he has, he can't buy time. Time has a value that you can't even meet the price tag. We operate on automatic pilot. There's a certain prayer, a song that we say Shabbos in the day. It's called Baruch Hashem Yom Yom. Blessed are you Hashem Yom Yom, day by day. And the question that's asked is, why does it say Yom Yom? Why isn't it enough to say Baruch Hashem, blessed are you Hashem Yom? For today, what's this Yom Yom? So I explained that there's a deep meaning. Baruch Hashem, how do I bless Hashem? Yom, for the day, for today that He gave me, this day. Yom, by giving Him back a day. If Hashem gave me a day today, He gave me another day to enjoy life, then what kind of responsibility do I have to utilize Yom, to utilize this day to my fullest potential? God gave me certain inborn talents and inborn capabilities. If I don't use my fullest potential, I really killed part of the day that He gave me. It's the same thing they say that God forbid when a person sins. How were we able to use God's life force that He gave me and use it against Him? How could I dare sin with the life that God gave me? God gave me a present. He gave me health. He gave me strength. Then I go ahead and I use that health and the strength to violate Him, to go against His will, to do what He doesn't want me to do. On what basis should He give me the life? That's why during the Rosh Hashana Yom Kippur period, we say, Zachrenu l'chaim, Hashem, remember me for life. Why? So one of the great rabbis said, Melech, I'm asking you, King, to give me life, Chofetz b'chaim, that I should be able to live a life that the King will be pleased with that life. V'chosreinu, and write in, B'sefer HaChaim, in the book of life, L'mancha, for your sake, because you are a God that values life. And by giving me life, hopefully I will be able to learn to value life. We don't stop to think. A lot of great sages used to go out to the wilderness, into the forest, and they used to do what's called hisbonenus, contemplation. They used to contemplate, because if we don't stop and we don't take the time to value it and to contemplate, we go off course. Every pilot checks his course. Every conductor checks his course. Every captain on the ocean checks his course. We need to check our course and make sure that our time is being spent properly. And if we don't do that, the Amos said, when are we going to do that? Because the clock is ticking. So every minute that we didn't do that, we're losing precious time.